Yo. Man, I feel like every time I turn around, Kanye West is doing some crazy ass shit. Like, I don't know if he's really like going nuts. Because I mean, at this point, it's like, you know, everybody's got their triggers and shit that sets them off and make them do like some of the wildest shit in their career that they've ever done. A lot of times it's a relationship-based issue, like how they're saying with Will Smith, he went jumping off of cliffs and shit when he knew that his wife was running around with another dude, but he didn't want it to come to light. And there's all these variables and angles that people are speculating on when it comes to Will's relationship, or what once was a relationship. I say there's a certain distaste and stain you leave in one's mouth, you know, when you start getting into the semantics of, you know, cheating and adultery and manipulation, and it gets real complex at that point. So I have to give it time to let the sources do their job, you know, because a lot of times people, they jump to conclusion and we all end up looking dumb because, for one, we're not, you know, Will Smith, we're not Jada Pinkett, we're not August, you know, we're just spectators at this point. But, you know, everybody wants to know what the fuck is going on. And I mean, you know, you date a world-renowned superstar, you know. So at a certain point, you know, there's no move you're gonna make that's gonna be an unseen one. Oh man, that was just kind of something I wanted to get off my chest. Welcome back. We are in DTJ Rap Studios. I am your host, ID, and this is IDyourself, the freestyle-based improv kind of podcast thing I kind of do on Facebook. Kind of sit here and chop it about recent events and things that are going on. I kind of just got fed up with not being on live just because I was paying so much attention to social media. I was like, dog, like I just kept getting hit in the face with just news and more news, and I was like, man, like I was like, dude, like I'm gonna go and do a live, but it was like playing double dutch. Like I didn't know when to jump in and do my live because every time I turn around, there would be more shit that I'm getting fed to me from my research department. And so it's just like, yo, like it's a lot. So we're gonna get started here. Community music and ideas. I've actually been kind of proud of some of the community I've been running into, places I've been going, and people I'm connecting with. A lot of people are trying to share ideas and share resources with others, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. So the fact that we're even getting that kind of thing started is a blessing. I think that there's a lot of rappers actually that are influenced on their own personal communities, and I respect that a lot too. I know hopefully that we can get to a point where we're all helping other communities as well as our own individual communities, but I'm glad to see that people are stepping up within their own communities and taking responsibility. Like if for at any reason I go viral with my podcast, I know for a fact that I'm going to be rebuilding and putting money into my city, in Tacoma, Washington, just because like this is, you know what I'm saying, where like I'm a product of my environment too, you know what I mean? So big up to that. It's good to see people out there doing good things. Hopefully everybody's feeling good. I know I was not doing so well recently and I was admitted to the hospital. I'm doing wonderful now. I am fully regenerated of electrolytes and red and white blood cells. I'm still on my my green juice kick. So please, I mean, if anybody has any questions about juicing or diets when it comes to juicing, I got you. I totally got you. My juice is delicious. But yeah, so I mean, let's get right into it. I want to let you guys know that I'm gonna start putting on, like I have like an obvious little following or whatever, like on Facebook and a little kind of on Instagram. I don't really be on Instagram that much just because I like talking to people. I like the interaction. I like being able to like really communicate, like on the spot. Like right now, you say something to me, I'm gonna say something back to you. You feel me? And so I like Facebook more for that reason. But So this episode is going to be sponsored by Oils of Olympia. Now, Oils of Olympia is a CBD-based pain relief roll-on. It's like a tube. It's at Oils of Olympia. They make sure that the ingredients are just oils only. There is no actual extra gel, alcohol, water, nothing. 100% natural organic oils and pesticide free. Like, trust me, it's completely good. It actually comes from the industrial hemp farms, it says here, and free from THC. Free from THC. I apologize. They offer the best products at the best price. You're going to want to check them out at oilsofolympia.com. That is oilsofolympia.com. OILSOO8. This is why I love live so much. See, that you gotta like keep it real with yourself. I suck at reading publicly, like in school, and they'd be like, "Yo, Josh, you read the 4th paragraph. John, you're gonna read the 5th paragraph, and Samantha, you're gonna read the 6th paragraph." Like, I hate like reading in front of my class, but it's going to be OILSOFOLYMPIA, oilsofolympia.com. Make sure you go there and get your oil lotions. Check them out. My mom actually has one. She did the roll-on her shoulder, and then had her little medical person put it on her lower back. And she wrote out like a fucking 5-paragraph long like essay joint about how well it did for my mom. So my mom loves them. She uses the roll-on. I actually have the website pulled up right there, and that's you can barely see it, but that's the label. It's like a turquoise and pink and white a little bit, but the roll-on is right there. That's the roll-on. That's a small picture from this distance, but it's here's the tester. I got a test bottle. This is like the tester bottle, but you can kind of see, and if you open it, it just rolls on to you like that. You know what I'm saying? So, if you have any questions at all, if you want to talk to my ma, whatever, whatnot, what have you, just want to go ahead and get that plug in. My man Kyle's doing his thing. He actually got a good phone call the other day, and he got accepted into a couple of stores in Olympia. I want to say like Safeway would be one of them. I can't remember what the other one would be. But he's making big moves for himself, and I'm proud of him. So I want to big up my man for his Oils of Olympia company. Shout out to you, brother. Let's get into these politics, man. Let's get into these politics. What we got? Oh, okay. This one's really important, actually, because I am a first-time dad. So, did you guys know that they're doing like a how did I word this? I said it's like homeschool versus like I call it half class. So it's like either the schools they called my house or whatever, and they were like, "Yo, we're offering to either have you elect your child into homeschool programs and homeschool lifestyle and homeschool this and homeschool that, or we're gonna take your kid and we're gonna pretty much like offer for them to be schooled for half the week, and then the other half of the week you still will be homeschooling." Now I kind of get that. They want to still offer the kids social interaction. They want to offer the kids education, and then teach them how to deal with troubleshooting and conflict and all kind of good, moral stuff. I just personally think that, at a certain point, like, Big Daddy Kane said, "Ain't no half stepping." So why am I going to send you to school to make you risk your life for COVID-19? Right? As opposed to just keeping you at home. Now, obviously, I want to send him to school. I'd love to send him to school. You know what I mean? But it's like, if I had a choice of either sending you to school all year long and worrying about COVID-19, or not sending you to school at all, and then we can literally learn American history together, and we can learn African history together, we can learn the world history together. You feel me? Because when I was in school, I'm in my 30s, but when I was in school, they didn't teach us African history. They gave us an American history book and told me to turn to page 72. So it's like, if I'm going to be homeschooling my child, I'm not really concerned about that, because he's going to learn more than I ever got to learn. Because I didn't get to learn that shit until I dug for the information, you feel me? But, so it's like, I just feel like in that category, I would just want to do the homeschooling. I think that in that same instance, my baby mama, she works in the medical industry, and I'm over here like, thinking to myself, like, I hope that she don't be trying to take up a bunch of work right now, because that's where all the sick people at. But it's like, that's her prerogative, that's her life, that's her business. But that's where I kind of get with that shit. I know a lot of parents, a lot of my homeboys that grew up and now have kids and reform their lifestyles based on that I'm pretty sure will want to weigh in on that. And so I wanted to bring that up. Homeschool versus half school. Not sure how that's going to go down. It says here that Seattle and several other school districts will be starting school with remote learning. I'm assuming that means through the internet. Based on the steady increase of COVID-19. Hold on one second. It's supposed to be background music for a reason, right? But it says based on the steady increase of COVID-19 infections in King County, which is out here in Washington, if you guys are viewing this from another state, in the last several weeks, they cannot imagine a way to have on-campus learning in the fall without a risk of significant transmissions of the virus, students, educators, staff, and the general public. Federal Way, Bellevue, North Shore, Kent, Seattle, and Renton all are accounted for this. Now, I'm in the general area. I'm not sure if that affects me because I'm close to it, or if they're going to just like partition these decisions on like fault lines and street signs and things like that. Again, everybody, you can definitely take your own way in on that. As a parent, I gotta I'm taking my steps lightly into this. I don't really want to act like I have an instinct opinion on how I'd want to handle something like this, because it's definitely sensitive material. You don't just kind of off the cuff be like, just throw them over there, just do that. Like, this is really serious. So be sure to check the rules and regulations that could be fluctuating and changing within your area and the school districts, because I know that obviously there is different outbreak levels in different areas, so that would, I assume, change the way they proceed forward when it comes to the kids and their education. Big ups to the kids. Hopefully they can make it through this, man. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened in our lives, as 80s babies, as 90s babies, as 70s babies. So I hope they make it through all this. Man, this is really huge and unfortunate. Regis Philbin died at the age of 88 recently. Longtime television host, Regis and Kathy. I don't know if you guys ever watched it, but he died on last Friday. He passed away of natural causes 1 month shy of his 89th birthday, it says. So we're going to have a moment of silence for Regis. All right. Man, that's really sad, though, yo. Like, I come from, like, the Ricky Lake era, you feel me? Like, all those talk show hosts, you feel me? Like, they really set the staple for what it was like to be an entertainer and, like, still have to, like, turn your character on and off. Like, these were full-grown-ass people with, like, children and lives, and they had to, like America's Funniest Home Videos, you feel me? Like, they have to turn that light switch on and off, and he has to be, Bob Saget at the end of the day. I mean, when he's at the dinner table, he's Bob Saget. You can't just be Bob Saget because you're a fan. He's Bob Saget, the host, when you're a fan. But at the end of the day, he's just Bob Saget, you feel me? So, at the end of the day, I know that Regis and his family are really feeling that, beyond all the fans that are probably crowding the timelines right now. And we're going to pray for them. It says here, Trump administration aims to block new funding for coronavirus testing and tracing. Basically, long story short, they're done paying for everybody to be worrying about if they're clean or not. I could read you the numbers, but basically they, as a community, we asked for, you know what, fuck it, I'll read it. Fuck it. It says, there was around $35 billion in different avenues that were allocated for this purpose. $20 more billion to provide for people overseas. But over the last weekend, it says administrative officials instead pushed to zero out the funding for testing and for the nation's top health agencies, and to cut the Pentagon funding to $5 billion instead of all the other billions that we were already requesting. So not only are they not going to give us the money that we were asking for to have these testing and tracing done, but they're only going to offer us a small percentage of the money we asked for, and hopefully we can obviously do something with that, which is highly unlikely. But that is something I do want to make mention of. I kind of want to get into some music shit now. Community is a huge thing to talk about. We can go on and on and on and on and on about the news. I feel like the news should be called like "What's Now," like "What Now," or "What's Next," or "What happened," like, because it's fucking, it gets to be too much at a certain point. I don't get it. Like there is never even a time in my life that I can remember where you would go and click on the news and it would be something like good, super good. Like, oh man, this dude was just helping this lady across the street and like something almost happened to her and he decided to let whatever was going to happen hurt him instead of hurt her. Like there's never an instance where I hear all like a bunch of good deeds and people that, like, I'm the type of dude to pay for the person behind me in the drive-thru just because I got paid that day. If I have a good payday, then I want to do a good deed. And it's just like a lot of people don't operate that way no more, and it makes people that really are loving and caring really apprehensive. It makes you scared to be yourself, in the sense that somebody's gonna misuse your trust and your love and your care and your little bit of TLC that you have to offer the world. You feel me? Rap shit, music. Let's do it. Yeah, so let's just get right into it. Drake going indie. Drake, if he went independent, I feel that he would corner the market. Now, granted, Drake is like the I hate that he thought of it kind of dude of hip hop. A lot of times, even as an artist myself, I'll be writing something, and then it'll be like a love record. You know what I mean? And then by the time I get done with it, I'll feel confident about it. I feel good about it. And then Drake will release like anything really. He has like such a large catalog when it comes to love records. It's like, dude, like he could release a record and just shit on the whole like rap R&B scene, because it's like R&B singers and there's like rappers that are in the R&B lane, like Drake. You feel me? But if he went indie, I think that he would pull a lot of artists from their deals and really shift the plate a lot in his favor. Maybe that could be unlikable. Maybe that could be really likable. I'm not sure how that would weigh on the fence. I'm kind of teetering towards me wanting for him to not go independent, because like hip hop to me is like the grown man soap opera, and if you're actually an artist, then it's even funner. But the music industry will always be the music industry. I feel like even if he was to go independent, even if he was to shift the tectonic plates and rumble things around a little bit, that it would just take enough time for somebody else to do the same thing. You know what I mean? There's going to be another dope-ass rapper out there. He's going to want to change the things around. It's almost like presidency, yo. Like, the people that hold the fads, or the people that hold the most clout and the influence in the community, they are the tether. And we make them the staple and stuff. It's crazy. Tamar Braxton. I'm sure we all know who Tamar Braxton is. She was rushed to the hospital after possible suicide attempt late hours on Thursday, July 16th. Now, the 43-year-old's report that the singer and reality TV star 43 was found unresponsive in her room at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel downtown Los Angeles. According to the blast, she was found by her boyfriend, David. I'm not going to mispronounce that last name. Braxton is in stable condition and is under 24-hour watch at the hospital. Has sent a chilling suicide threat to several family members in the hours leading up to her hospitalization. She said, and I quote, "I am a slave. I do not own my life, my stories, my pictures, my thoughts, or beliefs. I've asked my massa to free me. I'm threatened and punished for it. The only way I see out is death. I would choose that before I continue to love like this. Please help." I remember back in the day, they said they used to say it takes a village, And I know what they mean by that, but I'm just gonna kind of like tap in on that. But you know, they say it takes a village to kind of raise a child. You know, back in the day, that would kind of mean like, in a sense, that's why it was okay for your teacher to like be able to speak to you in a disciplinary tone. That's why it was okay for your neighbor to kind of spank you for cutting up outside if your parents weren't home yet, but they caught you. You know, and we, I believe that we should feel comfortable enough to lean on our, I want to say neighbor, but I mean that like lean on our friends and loved ones, because in our time of mental stress and discomfort, um, it could it could get you in the hospital, as you very well just saw me read. You know, you could end up in the hospital. You can end up in a space in your brain where you feel like completely inadequate, and that's just not true. So, um, I urge that if there's any kind of subconscious marinating feeling that you have, that you must find somebody to let that out on. You must let that out of your face. It is irresponsible of you to let that fester and marinate for as long as it will, until it doesn't want to marinate anymore. And then you have to figure out what to do with it then. And that's going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to handle it. So don't do that to yourself. Sorry for about that. I hope that tomorrow's going to be all right. Um, it's completely tragic. Leads me right into my next tragedy within the music industry. Elvis's grandson died at 27. His name is Benjamin. Uh, he died in Calabasas, California, Monday the 13th of this year. I don't have too much information about that, but I'm going to give him a moment of silence too. All right. But that's terrible, you know. My mom told me that she saw Rick James live back in the day, and it's like, Rick James, like, she told me she was so close that his Jerry curl sweat, like it was hitting her. You know what I'm saying? She was like mad close in the front, and like it just makes me think like, man, the name, like the Elvis Presley name, right? It's trippy. His name was Benjamin something. Tory Lanez, let's do it. So, me and my friends have been talking about all these trajectory angles, right? And I used to watch this movie called The Bone Collector with Denzel Washington, and he was teaching this lady how to run a crime scene and how to like work the crime scene and figure it out and shit. And Denzel Washington was like a cripple, so he was like talking through the crime scene over the phone. He was like, "Listen, when you go through the crime scene, you got to think about the ceiling, the walls, and the floors. You got to check the whole room. You feel me? The crime scene is not just what you're looking at in front of you; it's the whole room." She's like, "All right, cool. So if that's the case, let's work this crime scene real quick. We got Tory Lanez, we got Meg the Stallion, and we got Meg the Stallion's homegirl. We got a vehicle in which these people are inside of. Now, I'm going to stop it right there because we already have an account for the people that are actually in the car. Okay? Got 3 people in the car. How they get in the car, we'll figure that out in a second. Point being, nobody lives in the car. So whatever is on these people is things that they chose to bring out of the house when they were going to get in the car. One of those 3 people decided to go out the house with a gun and bring it in the car. Why? I don't know. But something fishy about it. I feel some type of way. Because if you didn't have the gun, nothing would have happened. If you needed the gun, you probably shouldn't have went. And that kind of just sums it up for me personally. That's just me personally. Now, beyond that factor that I just mentioned, my friends are giving me all kind of angles like, what if Meg had the gun on her, but, you know, like, nobody wanted to say it like that or whatever. Maybe she was playing with the gun and it was really Tory, so he took the blame for it. Like, I'm getting all these stories of how it could have went down. So I'm trying to figure this shit out. Now, naturally speaking, I don't think that he would shoot her in the foot. Now, I know that she's been going online lately describing her wounds and so on and so forth, but, you know, at a certain point, I just gotta wait to see what the reporters tell us. Because, for one, I know that they're not gonna give us all the information. I know that they're going to pay to tell the lawyers and the judges, like, look, you could tell the public this, you could tell the public that, but you cannot tell them this, you cannot tell them that. That's going to kind of leave us in a gray area of knowledge where we won't really know all the details. I basically just want to know if it's true that he shot her like a bitch. Like you don't shoot women, my nigga. No women, no kids. You know, there's rules to this game. But you don't fuck with the women. So, for whatever reason you think is gonna be okay, which there is none, I just want to know what kind of stupid shit he has to come out of his mouth. If in fact he really did shoot her. If he didn't, then he's not a bitch ass nigga at all. You know what I mean? But anybody could turn into a bitch ass nigga in an instant doing some shit like that. Let's just keep it at that. Wow. Nick Cannon being fired. Yo, I don't know if y'all heard that shit. This nigga got fired from Wildin' Out, and they're trying to redo his show like it's their show. And we all know Wildin' Out, that's Nick's show. So how would you feel if a network fired you from your own show? You know what I mean? Like, just gave you the boot and then moved forward with your following and then turned it into their show, basically. That shit wild. I don't even, man, like, this is why I built my shit from the ground up, because I don't want nobody coming up on me like, yo, you owe us this money for this show you've been doing or whatever on Facebook, and we know that you have followers, and we know that you, like, nigga, like, if I get a cash donation, I got a cash donation. Like, that's why it's called a donation, bro. Like, I get tired of people trying to clock my numbers or my money, and I damn sure not gonna have the government doing it later on down the road. So make sure you pay attention to your numbers, because next thing you know, you get caught slipping, and the whole time you've been in business with people, they're taking the wrong percentages and making deals behind your back and all kind of shit like that. So that kind of leads me back to the whole, you know, going independent with Drake thing. But, you know, Nick will be all right. I know he's a very innovative person, so he's going to come with something. My favorite rapper is Jadakiss. Jadakiss is coming out with an album this winter, which is awesome. I want to say it's going to be in February or March, and it will come with an album also from the Lox in either January or February, and also a documentary. I'm really excited. I wanted to make mention of that. They're my niggas. I fuck with the Lox. Shout out to Jadakiss, the whole Rough Riders. I'm hearing that Logic is going to be quitting. He's going to that Twitch. Everybody's on this Twitch thing, man. It seems like a lot of these rappers are huge gamers. You know, I heard Logic has like an outstanding record when it comes to gaming. I'm a gamer myself, but obviously more of a musician and whatnot in general in comparison. But that's kind of cool that he's quitting after this next album. It's one way to go out, you know. I wouldn't want to go out by somebody trying to kill my career or dissing me or some shit, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, you gonna say something back? Oh, he killed his career. Like, I'm not trying to get into all that kind of thing, but I think that's kind of cool. That's all I got for music, I think, for right now. I mean, there's plenty more to talk about, but I kind of want to get into some extra shit real quick. I was at a studio last night, and I spent the night there recording and doing some cool shit, but I woke up this morning, we were all having breakfast together, we were chopping it up, and somebody was telling me about this new rapper that went viral just because of their name. Music was whack as fuck, but just because of their name, they basically went viral. And I really feel offended by this person's name, because it's just not the way you get into the music industry. Like, you Like, this shit, like, we do this shit from talent, my nigga, like, for real. Like, we do this shit from raw talent and willpower. Nobody taught me how to rap. Nobody taught me how to mix vocals. Nobody taught me how to learn into mastering or sequencing or any of that kind of stuff. Like, nobody taught me this. Like, I went and found the information. I studied it. I learned it. I harnessed it. It's mine. It's in my brain. It'll never go anywhere. Point being, it's just like, there's this nigga on the internet, and he named himself Little Anne Frank. And it's like, how disrespectful do you have to be, Doug? Like, at a certain point, like, everybody's like always like, what's my rap name gonna be or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, what's my artist name gonna be when I'm on stage? And it's like, that should have been like not even an option, let alone the last one. So I hope that nobody supports this nigga, because that's just how I feel, and I'm allowed to feel how the fuck I want. That shit crazy. I can't give that shit. But anyway, one last thing, and this one's kind of weird. Have y'all heard about the Walt Disney theory? I was talking to my friend about the movie Frozen, and they were like, "Yo, you seen that movie Frozen?" And I was like, "Yeah, like, everybody knows Frozen." And they was like, "Well, I ain't seen it, but I know about the theory." I'm like, "The theory? What are you talking about?" And they was like, "Yo, you know?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I mean, that's what I'm asking." And so apparently, in, what does it says here? December 15th, 1966. December 15th, 1966. Fucking Walt Disney, right? He had died on December 15th, 1966. But when he died, or not died, I'm sorry. Didn't die. But on December 15th, 1966, he was very ill. At the time, he went to the hospital, to the doctors or whatever, and told them Bamas, he was like, "Yo, I want y'all to put me in cryo status, freeze my brain and my body and everything. Don't wake me up until you have a cure for my illness." Type shit. I think he scheduled his cryo status. Sources say that he set his cryo status for like 100 years. Or some dumb, like, radical number like that. You know what I mean? Now, this theory with the aliens and all this other shit has been going on for a while. We all know that. That being said, this thing with the whole, I'm gonna freeze myself. Hold on. This whole thing about I'm gonna freeze myself and save my body for like 50 years. And then come back to life and see what the world's going to be like in 2050. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I don't believe in it. I just don't see a lot of practicality in it, just because, like, dog, you don't know what it's going to be like when it's that point in time of the world. And on top of that, it's like, they was talking about trying to make it to where niggas could live on Mars, right? And they were like, if we do inhabit Mars, what would happen is that they would have to bring life to Mars, right? So they have to bring animals and people and all sorts of kind of shit. And they were saying, in the process of doing that, they would only be able to get a ship to come to and from Mars like once every 8 years, to bring food, to bring vegetation, to bring more animals, to bring people that want to come and move there. But you would only have the option of going back to Earth and or receiving things from Earth once every like 8 years or some shit. This was the theory that they were speaking about when it comes to inhabiting Mars. Now, if that's the case, then, because, like, I don't find that really realistic, because who's going to live on a planet for 8 years at a time? Anything can happen, especially a planet we've never lived on before. But if that's the case, why in the hell would you freeze yourself and your brain and all that just to see if they can find a cure for your illness? Now, I understand the plight of, being ill. I understand how that could affect one and their lifestyle, their choices, their everyday living. I get it. I really, really do. But I don't think that any illness, shortcoming, or unfortunate event is worth, like, leaving your life. I guess it's the only way I can word it. It's like he left his own life. If this was really true, and like now he's got this like contract to be woken up in like less than 50 years. I'm assuming now at this point, but that's just because I didn't do the math. You feel me? But in general, whatever from 1966 until now, and whatever's left of that 100 years. But that leads me to think, like, where the fuck are they keeping this nigga? Well, you got this thing in Area 51 or some shit? They got a spot for all these niggas? Like, fuck you talking about? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. But that's all. I kind of like showing with y'all on live, man. It's good times. I have a recording session later on, actually. So I want to give a big shout out to Said Bash. Said Bash is a recording artist out of Tacoma, Washington, and he's a wonderful spirit, man. This kid, he's awesome to be around, yo, and he has great ideas. He's motivated. It's great. And he actually he hit me up wanting to come by and lay some vocals down. So I told him to go ahead and slide through tonight. So he's gonna come by and rock out for a little bit, which would be nice. But I hope that everybody else is having a good day. I know it's hot as all get out outside, yo. Like I had came back from doing all my studio work from yesterday, like earlier today, and by the time I got home, I was asking people to take a ride to the store for me. It's just too hot to be going back outside. You know what I'm saying? I came in here, cooling off. That's all you can do is try to stay cool, because that heat will give you some irritation beyond belief. You know what I mean? It'll really mess with you. So make sure you stay out of all that heat. Make sure you don't let the heat get to you. Take all the necessary precautionary measures to be staying cool. Buy an extra fan. You feel me? It'll be good for you. My baby mama on this whole let's get a toy outside for the kid. Make sure you get yourself a little outside toy for that kid, because you know all this coronavirus, nobody can take their kid no goddamn well. All these kids got cabin fever now. These motherfuckers can't wait to see a gate open so they can sprint out that motherfucker and see what society has to say about another child being around the goddamn... Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, kids now are acting out because they don't even got nowhere to act out anymore. The house is like a goddamn prison to them. So when you take these motherfuckers to the store, they turn into goddamn... What is that? Walking Dead, yo. They get into the store, they just see some shit. I need it. Like, they're fucking tripping, son. But I think they're gonna be alright, man. Kids are gonna be kids, bro. That's one thing also I learned, man, and this whole fatherhood thing, yo, like, you're really not ready. You're really never ready. Just like they always say. You're really never ready. You're just a dad now. You have to accept responsibility for their actions as well as your own. I'm gonna be alright. I think I'm gonna be a good dad. We watch a lot of Scooby-Doo. Oh yeah. And then my friend, he hit me up yesterday. He lives in California. And he hit me up and he told me he had been listening to my music and he really liked it. And so he put my song on his on his radio show, which was mad dope. It was cool. I want to say that was my first time being on a radio show. No, my second time being on a radio show. My first time, shout out my boy Miz. My first time being on a radio show was up in Seattle. And bro, I had some etiquette training that day. Because I didn't know like how ratchet I was really being. Because like, yeah, I mean, I curse like a sailor or whatever. But, you know what I mean? At the same time, I don't try to be disrespecting people's space. Like if somebody is like of a certain caliber of person, I try to be mindful of the energy I'm bringing around them and make sure that I'm not just being all crazy or whatever. Because sometimes people don't understand it, like that everybody is a product of their environment. Whether that was your mama being a bad mom, or your dad being a bad dad, or your parents being great parents, but you are a product of your environment. So a lot of times somebody can not know where you're from and potentially start guessing at it based on the way you're acting. I've heard somebody hear me talking and the way I act sometimes, and they be like, oh, you must be from here, or you must be from there. And it's like, you gotta let people be who they are no matter where they're from. And it shouldn't matter, you know what I mean, at a certain point, really. I shouldn't be depicted as anything based on the way I'm acting. I should just be acting that way, and that should just be it. Let's see who's in here. Okay. I got this is kale, spinach, pineapples, apples. I can't remember everything. But I am going to start bringing some guests in here. I actually want to have one of my models, not my models. I mean, like, one of my friends that's a model is my best friend, and her name is Janai. And I want to bring Janai in here to kind of talk to the ladies that you know, follow my podcast and give the ladies some tips. Give the ladies some tips on her makeup products and all that stuff that y'all models do. And I went and watched this show, and they were saying that it is customary and almost natural for a woman to take 2 hours to get ready. I want to say it was a celebrity that said this, and they were like, yo, if you're dating a celebrity, you're going to need to give them 2 hours to get ready, or don't even invite them. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, so ladies, tell me, is it really true that y'all take 2 hours to get ready? And it's okay? It's supposed to be okay? For real? For what? Like, whatever happened to sweatpants, hair tied, chilling with no makeup on? Like, Drake wrote that too. Like, the fuck? What happened to that? It seems like women these days get dressed up just to go out and say no. I know a lot of dudes that could just use a date. You know what I mean? Like, I'm perfectly fine when it comes to my love life, but it's like, I know a lot of dudes. Like, I just know a lot of dudes, and dudes could just use a date. Another person to interact with and get to know. And it seems like either the woman is too guarded, or she's out just trying to say no, or he's being too aggressive, or she didn't have a way to tell him that and still try to communicate through that and get over it. Like, a lot of times people would like somebody and they'll let that one thing that's their, like, fucking pet peeve trigger them to say no. And I feel like that's you not giving it a chance. Because even if they were to be, like, in a 5-year relationship, not even if, as opposed to or compared to if they were in a 5-year relationship and that person stepped on one of your triggers and then it set you off, you would give it a little bit of patience before you ended your 5-year relationship. So I feel like a lot of times people are paying for the previous person. Just go on a date, say fuck it. You feel me? Oh. You feel me? Oh. Yeah. My name ID. This is DTJ Rap Studio. See, we in the freestyle session. We in the freestyle session. Yeah, we can turn this up a little bit now. I like a little ambiance. Yeah, that saxophone. Whew. I love the saxophone. That's my favorite instrument, actually. when I was in when I was in high school, I could play the flute and the clarinet. So when I hear a fucking saxophone, I'm tripping. Who's that? Who's up in here? I'm thinking I'm about to get up out of here. But this has been another rendition of ID Yourself from DTJ Rap Studios. I'm your host, ID, and it has been lovely chilling with y'all. I'm going to go ahead and get back to my music. Excuse me. And, man, I can't stress it enough. Please hit me up. Excuse me. Please hit me up if you need anything. Anything. I don't care what it is. Hit me up. People need people. People need people. I always need somebody. And I got a holster, yo, for my right hand man. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta have people. And if nobody call me, we gonna find you some people for whatever it is you're trying to accomplish and execute. Because people need people. ID yourself and have a great day, yo. Peace.